Okay, so go ahead and just stand, and we're just going to start with a simple, just a release, a lymph release. And so often we kind of like, we get jammed up. It can be in your elbows. And remember, in our joints, that's an area where everything is going to get clogged anyway, tight, stiff. And it, of course, has to do with our sleep. It has to do with sugar intake, stress, all different kinds of things, water intake, and just, I guess people would say, oh, yeah, it's just old age that my joints hurt and that kind of stuff. And that, I guess, is part of it. But sometimes old age gets pushed quicker or forward, very often because we don't do the things that it would take to not feel old and so on. Or we just assume that we are going to fall apart and break down. So we just kind of accommodate it happening. So this is why you guys come. This is why you guys are the choir per se, and why you guys do the things you do to kind of keep yourself well. So we're going to start simple, and I just want to do a real baseline check, and I just want you to lift up your toes. So just stand there and lift up your toes and just kind of notice your balance. Close your eyes if you want. Because remember, when we close our eyes, our proprioception is out. And just take several deep breaths and see if you can relax your glutes, quads, and just kind of notice, make a little fist with your hands and see if it's stiff. Extend your elbows completely. See if one is tighter than the other. Lift your chest, pull your shoulders back. See if you have any kind of tenderness in the shoulder blades or the back. Take a deep breath. Notice if there's any tension or pressure at your diaphragm. And then drop all 10 toes and just kind of notice what you notice as far as coming back to a neutral position. All right, so that is our baseline, just kind of checking where things are. Let's start at just underneath the collarbone on the left side and just give it a nice gentle rub. And then go above the collarbone about 5 times. Go across the collarbone, kind of up and down, more like moving the skin than just patting. And then you're going to pat 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then pull down towards and across that collarbone. And let's do the right side. So the reason why we start on the left side is because that's the thoracic duct going towards the heart. And we want to take things into the thoracic duct. So below the collarbone, about 5 rubs, above the collarbone, and it could get a little sticky, gunky in there if you press down a little bit harder. Rub over the top of the collarbone, and then pat 5 times. And then we're going to go just behind the earlobe, that little hole back in there. Start there and just start kind of moving, jigging your finger up and down. You're mostly moving the skin more so than dragging your fingers, kind of up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, all the way to the collarbone. That's your SCM muscle. Back up. And now pull down and tap 5 times. And then once again, pull down 3 times toward that left collarbone. Let's do the right side. Underneath that ear, it may be tender in there, or that bone behind the ear may be tender. Go side to side, up and down, all the way towards the collarbone. And then back up. Then kind of pull down, tap 5 times. And then pull across and down. Good. Good. And then we're going to go just to our just to our brachial artery, brachial lymph, underneath the armpit, across the shoulder, around by the ribs. You can kind of poke into the deep part. A lot of women, this is their big complaint in here. And part of it is strength. Part of it is they've lacked the ability to get strong in there. And then pat 5 times. And then pull up and towards the collarbone. And then the other part, this is a lot of lymph here. We've got a lot of breast tissue. We've got a lot of, so we're moving to the right side. Go across that bone right there, right where the shoulder meets the chest. Inside that groove. Inside the armpit. Sometimes one armpit may feel more swollen. Especially if you've had any issues with any kind of breast tissue issues. And then back in, pull in, pat 5 times. And then across to your left side. All right. Into your belly, just kind of rub your belly. Kind of squeeze your belly, give it a little bit of a pat 5 times, and pull up 3 times. Then we're going to go inguinal joint right here where the crease of the hip meets the torso. And again, this is a lot of lymph right here because this is elimination, this is digestion, this is all the movements of our body are connected through here. And then kind of give a little chop 5 times and then lift up. And then we're going to go behind the knees. Now, again, behind the knees, a lot of times it's a real sneaky spot because a lot of times people get pain behind the knees or in the knees and go to the doctor. And then it's just like, I've got knee problems and nothing shows up. Give a little squeeze, give a little pat, and then pull up through the inner thigh all the way up. And then just kind of shake your arms out nicely. And then you're just going to bounce. Now, I know this isn't yoga per se. This is lymphatic or just movement. And so just kind of our ability to just kind of move. That's why walking is so therapeutic. That's why I think why we're attracted to jumping on trampolines because it just feels good, but then we got the other problems with the trampoline. Couple more, just kind of feeling that bouncing. You don't have to come off because I don't want you to use your feet. And then swing your arms back, swing them up. Exhale, swing your arms back, swing them up. Exhale one more time and up. Take your arms down. Good. And we'll recheck the baseline. Close your eyes. Just kind of notice what you notice. Hopefully, or maybe you're feeling just a little bit kind of buzzy or tingly or kind of like muscle aware kind of thing. Lift up all 10 toes. Just kind of notice where you're at. Maybe your heart rate's elevated just a tiny bit, which is a good thing. But ideally, you feel still balanced or you feel more balanced, just a little bit. Make a fist with your hands. Notice that position. It just feels like you can move it better, or maybe there's just, you're feeling like a release, or your elbows feel, glutes. How's your belly? Take a big deep breath. Exhale, one more nice deep breath, and drop all 10 toes. You just kind of notice what you notice. Good. All right. So again, those take about 1.5 minutes just to do it on your own, a little 30-second bounce. It can kind of revive the whole system. Let's start at the top of the mat, and we'll start in with some halves and salutes. Adding in some breath, taking your arms up and over your head. Reach. Exhale, hands through. Circle those arms around. Inhale up. Exhale through. One more time. Inhale up, hold, lift that chest. Take your hands behind your head, lift your chest, lift the elbows. Let the weight of the head rest back into the arms. Inhale, bring the arms back up, hands back down. One more time. Take your arms up. Bend the knees and dive forward. Pull the belly towards the back. Let the head drop, chin towards the sternum. Inhale. Come into a half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale and sweep up. Arms up overhead. Exhale and through. Let's do that 2 more times. Take your arms up. Finish the inhalation. Exhale. Almost. This is the dropping in. Finish that exhale. Inhale. When you're ready, come into that half lift. Get long and then. So don't just pick up the head. Think of the head as moving towards the wall in front of you. The hips moving towards the wall behind you. Exhale, fold. Inhale and sweep up. Once more through. Circle those arms up. In. Exhale. Inhale. Half lift. And exhale, fold, chin towards your sternum. Inhale and sweep up. And exhale through. Inhale, take your arms up and over your head, interlace your fingers. Pull your arms back behind your ears as you can comfortably. Turn your hands down and then palms back up. Look to your left. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, look to your right. Keep reaching. Exhale, center. Take your hands again behind your head. Thumbs pointing down towards your shoulders. Let your head be cradled and then pull up on the base of your skull. So get a little neck traction there. So your index fingers are riding right underneath your skull. Exhale. One more nice deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let the elbows drop in without just pressing. Just let the chin drop. Let the elbows drop. Inhale. Up. Exhale. Look towards your right. Rotate to your right. Big breath. Inhale. Keep those arms wide. Exhale. Bring it back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate to your left. Keep those elbows wide. Exhale. Come back to center. Turn your palms up towards the sky. And then bring the palms underneath your chin, fingers on your sternum, elbows high, chest is lifted. You can even drop your chin into the open space in your hands. Lift that chest. And breathe about 4 deep breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice long deep breaths. Inhale. And then exhale. Last time here. Inhale, lift that chest. Lift the hands. Exhale, hands down. Dive forward. Hanging forward, head down, chin in. Look back between those knees. Feel that crease deepen. So if you want to really feel the crease deepen, you're pulling your belly off of your thighs, almost hollowing out, and then lift your tailbone slightly. Exhale and fold. A couple more breaths, just hanging. Palms can be down, fists can be made. Knees can be straight, knees can be bent. Lift that tailbone, lift that chest. Take your hands out in front and let's come to all fours. Breathing, roll those shoulders back, pull the rib cage in, lift the tailbone and tuck the tailbone. So remember, when you just move the pelvis, try to differentiate the movement of the pelvis from the rest of the body. So we're just moving the pelvis. You can hollow the belly a little bit. You can relax the belly. Watch that you're not shrugging into the shoulders. Watch that you're keeping your weight even in toes, knees, and hands. Even if you go down to your forearms, totally fine. Just walk your knees slightly back so you're level in the movement. One more time, tuck the pelvis and inhale, lift the pelvis, lift the sternum. Then relax and come to more of a neutral. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, more neutral. So you're not going into a rounded back. You're just pulling your sternum away and your chest high. I'm not even really pulling my head back to my shoulders so much as I'm just pulling my sternum forward. And then exhale. Now this is making my pelvis move a little bit more. I am trying to differentiate, trying to distinguish between upper back and lower back stillness. Breathing one more time. Inhale, lift the chest. Point the toes back as it's comfortable. Sit your butt back towards your heels. Slide your hands out, child. Nice and long. And very often people ask, well, how long do I feel good after this? It's like, you should be able to check in at any time and reset your nervous system by resetting your thoughts slightly with your breath. So if you're feeling anxious or tired or tight or off balance after, like well after one of these sessions, just check in with yourself. See if you can find some stillness, some place to release, some place to relax, and then just breathe 4 or 5 times. And then return, closing your eyes, maybe just standing and rechecking your baseline. Inhale, look forward first. Pull yourself up and towards your hands. Recenter your knees underneath you. Sit your hips back, and then let's come to a downward facing dog. Breathing. Downward facing dog. Yes, it's a strength move. Yes, it's a rest move. Think about letting those knees bend, tailbone up. So same idea when you forward fold. Lift that tailbone, but hollow out the belly. And you'll deepen that length. You'll deepen that crease. Watch that you're not just flaring your rib cage back. Let your neck release. Pull your shoulders towards your hips. If this is too much on your hands, go ahead and go down to your forearms or even to your knees and do a real modified downward facing dog. Walk your feet in just a little bit. Walk your hands back. So you're at a pretty wide leg forward fold. Come up onto your fingertips, bend your knees, and then just take your right hand to the sky. Breathe to find that space, that rotation. So watch that you don't spin your hips around. Keep your hips pulling back, your head reaching forward, your arms just going straight up and straight down. Exhale, lower your right hand. Inhale. Exhale, pull up with that left arm. Again, watch that the hips don't spiral around with that leg. And then watch the right knee and hip. Keep those legs opening slightly to accommodate for the rotation. And breathe. Deep into the belly. Try not to overbreathe. That's why breathing through our mouth is so kind of hazardous or haphazard, is we tend to overbreathe through our mouth. Exhale. So work on that depth of breathing through your nose. And softening. Walk your hands to your knees. Walk your feet heel toe to each other. Lift that chest. Now round the back calf. Stretch in this half position. Lift the tailbone. Pull the belly in around the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, pull the belly in around the back. One more time. Inhale, lift, and then sweep those arms up. Exhale, hands through. Let's step your right foot, just step forward. Reposition your left foot, circle those arms up. High lunge. So hands aren't really over your head, except for where they are. And they're over your chest. So open that chest. Make sure you reach up without shrugging. Breathing. And then shift back into your left heel. Arms now move over your head. And then circle the arms around. Hands to the ground as you can. Right leg is straight, left heel is down. You're going to shimmy your left foot back a little bit further. Drop your left heel. And then let's come up from there to a triangle. Take the left shoulder up. Pull the right elbow towards the right knee. Take the left arm up. Reaching. Make sure the hips aren't pushing back, but down and back and in towards your left heel. Take the left arm overhead as an extension of the left side waist. And then circle that left arm all the way around. Release any tension from that right knee. Lift that chest up. Drop your left knee down. High chest. Take both arms up. Reach. Now feel that length from your left hip. Open. Let your head drop back if it's comfortable. Circle your arms back around. Head comes back to center. Slide the right leg back in. Both arms come up. Reaching, relax. Circle those arms around. Let's return to child's pose. Head down, chin in. Exhale. So let child's pose really be a recentering for you, a place to come to, nestle into, feel the wall of your rib cage pressing into the thigh. Inhale, head forward. Shift your body weight forward just enough to curl those toes under, feel that stretch of the ball of the foot, and then lift the hips up. Let's come back to the downward facing dog. Lengthen, bend the knees, drop the heels if you need to, if you can. Walk the feet slightly towards the hands. Walk the hands back to the feet. Breathing. Keeping the chest nice and tall. Take the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Take the right hand up. Get long. Watch those hips so they don't push kind of toward the right side as your right arm goes up. Exhale and lower. Right hand down, left hand up. Reach upwards. Not just extend the arm, but find that length, find that space. Exhale, left hand down. Breathing, hands to the tops of the knees, extend the elbows. Again, tuck the pelvis, lift the tailbone, upper back is still. Once more, exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the tailbone, sweep the arms up and overhead to reach. Exhale, hands through, left foot steps forward, right leg may go back, straighten out your left leg, arms come up, high lunge, breathing. Again, your sternum is up, your head is behind your arms, breathing. Straighten out your left leg, dive forward as it's comfortable. Keep that left leg straight. If you need a block, grab a block for underneath your hands. You've got your roller nearby, that works out as well. Drop your right heel, roll yourself open to the triangle. Watch that left shoulder that pulls away from your left ear. Right arm goes overhead. Breathe. Circle that right arm all the way around. Bring your right hand to the ground. Drop your right knee. Shift back. Let's come into all fours. Sink those hips back towards your heels again. Point your toes and roll yourself up to a seated posture. If you need to, put the block between your legs to sit up higher. Then you can also just use your feet, or you can sit all the way to the ground. Breathe. Let's open up the shins, the feet. When I thought of today's session, I really thought of a lot of deep, soft breathing, patience with the body, patience with our thoughts. Bring your hands to your chest. Rock forward, hands down, and let's sweep the legs out from underneath. Bringing your feet towards the front of your mat. Just lift your chest up. And exhale, roll yourself back. Head back, shoulders back, arms down. Just give yourself that sense of ease against the ground. Notice if your pelvis is more tilted or tucked, can you find a more neutral position for it? Bring your right knee into your chest, hug underneath your right thigh. Watch the shoulders aren't lifted. Keep the neck long. Release your left. Your right. Bring your left knee in. Release that foot. Bring your right leg in again. Hold the right leg in if it's comfortable. You can take your hand behind your head and assist, or bring your chest up and just hold. Watch that the pelvis doesn't curl up. You curl your head and chest up, not your pelvis curls towards you. Inhale, lower back. Lower your right foot. Left knee comes in, same thing. Hug underneath that left calf. If you need to, put your hand behind your head and lift your chest up, or you can just keep both hands. Slide those shoulders away from your ears. Draw the tailbone towards your right heel. Inhale and lower back. And then let's bring both knees in. Draw both knees into your chest. Now, as you pull in, I want you to try to reset your back by dropping the tailbone, but still create the pull in from your knees. So you may be able to see this. If I draw my knees in, you can see my bottom lifting off the ground. So I pull my bottom up. Now I want to sink my bottom back down and keep my shoulders down. Exhale and release. Just the right leg. Cross the left ankle over, and then take the left hand, starting at the hip, and slide up towards the top of that left knee on the inside of the thigh, keeping the pelvis level. Try not to dip. Try not to arch or tuck. Just keep that pelvis nice and level. You can feel that opening here in that deep joint, maybe on the outer part of the hip. And then we're going to just bring the right knee a little bit closer to the chest and drop the left knee and drop the left foot to the ground. Left shoulder stays down. I'm not a really big back rotation. This is a little bit more of just a kind of a glute movement. Breathing. Then hold that knee in place and bring your legs up. And then let's take the legs to the other direction. So take your right hip, shift it to the right side of the mat. Using the left leg, let's get that outer part of the leg stretched there. Now, for some, this isn't a very big stretch. Others, you can really feel that pull. And remember, all of our muscles are always connected to organs. And so down the outside of each leg is the kidneys, liver on your right side, as you can feel a lot of times tension on this side. Inhale back up. The muscle that crosses the line of the leg, so from the outside of the hip to the inside of the knee, is called the sartorius. Bring your knees back to center. And that's a lot of kind of female organs and reproductive organ, kind of, you can feel a lot of pull from there. So certain times, even if you're no longer having a period or anything like that, this can still be problematic, this kind of muscle that crosses the hip and the knee. So let's unlace that right ankle, that left ankle, draw that right ankle in. Again, start with your right hand right at the crease of the hip, press up and away. And realize I'm not pushing a lot of pressure. It's just extended arm. And I'm working from the pelvis. So I'm just trying to hold my knee in place. And I'm trying to find that space kind of more passively into that hip and groin area. So this affects the psoas, which is the muscle that attaches the torso essentially to the limbs. And just release. And so functionally, when we just rest into a position, our body can kind of just calm through it. And there's both ways, of course. We do a little more vigorous stretching, which is totally fine. But sometimes it's just nice to let the muscles just do what the muscles are going to do and give them some attention where they're at. Then hold that right ankle and let's take that left hip over so the right hip comes up. Breathing. And you're going to feel this stretch in this right glute. Relax the glutes so they're not squeezed. Think of sinking the hips down. And then from here, let's come back up. Remember, keeping the right ankle over. I'm going to shift my weight all the way to my left and then drop my legs to my right. So I'm using that right leg to pull my left leg over. So I haven't changed the positions of my legs. I've just changed the idea of the pull. And again, you can feel this through here, down into the IT band, breathing. And depending on where you go with the left leg that's on the bottom, you may feel a little bit more pressure, less pressure. Keep that left shoulder back. Big deep breath. Good. And then just gently, I'm going to unlace that right leg and then place those feet down, bring the hips back to center, and then just quiet the system just for a moment. Exhale, bring the right knee into the chest again. Exhale, pull against that thigh. Bring the left knee in, flip the right foot down, pull against that thigh. Bring the right knee back in as it's comfortable. Bring your head up towards your legs. Lower your head back down. Take your arms out wide. And we're going to take both legs. Keep your knees in. Notice my hips are off the ground. And drop both knees to your right. So you want your left shoulder down. Your hips are stacked as best you can. And then you're going to just find that rotation. So now more spinal rotation than just hip movement. Lengthen, kind of find that space between your hip and your ribs and see if you can open that up a little bit. I'm giving a little gentle pressure to my right, with my right hand to my left leg. Big deep breath. I love these rotations. They're just very rinsing to the body. Inhale, bring your left knee up, right knee up, and let's switch the hips over. Bring the knees in, kind of pull the knees to the chest, and then over so the hips stay stacked. And then just let the right shoulder drop as it's comfortable. Left hand to that right thigh. Again, you're opening this space between the rib and the hip. So remember, our organs don't have pain, but they do have associated muscles, and some muscles do have pain. And so very often, if our muscles are feeling tight and tense, especially around a certain area, we know that we need to maybe flush our system maybe a little bit more. I don't mean to do a detox as much as like a real detox, but like add more water, get some salt in your diet, look at what you're eating, the stress that you're under. Are you giving yourself the opportunity to have maybe green tea or some echinacea or something to just restore your immune system and restore the balance of your electrolytes? Remember, those electrolytes, especially magnesium, really helps to calm the body. Exhale, bringing the knees back up and then feet down with that. And you can experiment with different types of magnesium. There's several different kind of types of magnesium. Most are magnesium citrate or calcite or something like that. And then carbonate, and those are good, but there's a lot of others that you might want to have available to you as well. So getting a nice wide optimized magnesium can help relax the tissue as well as the brain, as well as the gut. Take a deep breath, knees are wide, little reclined cobbler's pose. Extend your right leg and left, arms out to your side, about an inch to a foot to away from your hips. Just take a nice settling breath. Release into the ground. And as you're resting back, just kind of take an overall assessment of the body from the point of view so much of what you're going to do or what you want to be able to do, but just kind of be acknowledging of the body, feet, calves, the hips, the ribs, just as they are. And realize that in yourself, as you are, your design was designed to be well. Your design was designed to be aware and connected. It's the mistake to think that we are just kind of in our bodies as a show. We're just have to just be thrown from this side to that by anything that comes to us. But we have the ability to connect into our body as well as by that design and through that design to find that natural ability to connect, restore, renew. And who gave us that ability to do it? Slide your feet in so your shins are vertical. Shift your hips, roll to one side, bringing yourself up. Sitting in a nice, comfortable sitting position, up on a block if you want, roller, bolster, however it's comfortable for you. Bring your hands to your lap or your knees or your chest. Your chin drop to your sternum. Clear reminder, heart, head, breath connecting. Palms together. Thankful, connected, aware. The gifts that you've been given, from the inside, from the outside of the people that you surround yourself with, and what you've been given just because. Take your left hand, put it on your right. Take your right hand, put it around behind you. Look forward, right hand placed on your left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, center, both arms up. And exhale.